Christ.
I don't want you to have to call CPS on him.
I wish we were in Game of Thrones time. I swear to God. He who sends the sentence should swing the sword. I would love to swing the sword.
By the way, I'm 4 episodes into Game of Thrones. I'm hooked. I'm in.
Oh,
Are
great.
You fucking,
it's phenomenal.
You just started the fucking thing? Are you kidding me?
I was late to the party.
Yeah, well, hop on, buddy.
Yep.
But I'm in.
Gettleman better start watching soon. He's going to be dead any minute.
He's a sprite young 66-year-old guy.
Yeah, he is sprightly. He is sprightly, isn't he?
You know, me and Marco, we're trying to give you facts, make you feel a little bit better.
It's not even the fact that it's Gettleman. It's not even the fact that it's Gettleman. What was the rush? Who's hiring Gettleman at 67 years old? What's the rush?
I don't think it was for Gettleman.
All right,
I
boys,
think
are you ready? We are streaming live. Give me 1 second.
Yeah,
I will find
your music.
Hit the music.
You start to show off with dry heaving.
They're asking me to hit the music that James put somewhere where I can't find.
It's up to the top. It's towards the top, isn't it? It's to the top.
That would be a great place for it, but no, it is not there.
No, it's at the bottom. You were bitching about it last night.
And you would think I could remember it. My God. Guess what?
Welcome to the Bleed Big Blue podcast, dedicated coverage of the New York Football Giants by your hosts, Marco, Trifecta, T. Merritt, and JBW.
Hey, I'm him.
We got a live show today. Some Giants news coming in. This is Marco, host of the Bleed Big Blue podcast. I have full show, all my co-hosts with me, James, Tim, and Justin. Boys, why don't we say hello?
Hello.
Gettleman couldn't be here. He was at the early bird special. He's in bed right now. He can't come on. We were going to have him on, but he had dinner at like 3:30 this afternoon, and at the buffet. And he's sleeping now, but he'll be up bright and early, ready to go first thing in the morning.
He rebuffed our invitation to come on.
It wasn't really that he rebuffed it. I mean, if we went on at like 2:30 in the afternoon, that's his prime time. But 3:30 is like dinner, and then maybe a cup of decaf, and he's off to bed. I mean, the guy's 67 years old, for Christ's sake.
Wait, 12:30 is half a sandwich and a cup of soup, right?
Well, that's like we got to figure he's up at 4:30 in the morning, so that's his breakfast. You figure lunch around 11:30, and then maybe a little dinner at 3:30, off to bed around 5. It's a very busy day, I mean, he's got a lot going on. He's got to play canasta,
Should we learn how to play canasta?
I think if we want to have him on, learning how to play canasta would be beneficial. I think we need to take up bocce ball. I think bocce ball would be good.
Well, as an Italian, I know how to play bocce ball. I could give lessons.
Well, so do I. So do I. I could play. We could play a little bocce ball. I mean, that's fine. Maybe to break the ice with him a little bit. A little old school, new school.
That would go in line with wasn't it? I can't think. Wasn't it Todd who thought we were all in the same room?
Yes, it was.
And that Jimmy and James were different people?
Technically, we are. Technically, not wrong on that one.
Well, Jimmy's never here because Jimmy's the nice one. Actually, you know what? Jimmy's here usually on Sunday mornings. Me and Jimmy get along great on Sunday mornings.
I'm in a good mood on Sunday morning. The game hasn't started yet.
But this was a rough season.
Oh. See, it's not even that. Like, I think this season was necessary. the more I think about it, like to me, like the being 2-14, 2-13, like that doesn't bother me because of the fact that it's very simple that these opportunities to get a franchise quarterback do not come very often. And it's very reminiscent of what happened in Indianapolis, that it was the perfect storm of having a horrible season when there's going to be these quarterbacks available. So if you were going to pick a season to completely shit the bed, whether you pick a quarterback or not, that pick is going to have tremendous value. And then the decision now becomes, can Gettleman make a good decision past 5 o'clock on draft night, when he's a little tired? Can he actually make a good decision of what, are we going to take a quarterback? Are we going to trade back? What's the plan going forward? So to me, it's not 2-14. To me, is the debacle of how they handled 2-14 during the course of the season. That's the more the whole situation with how Mara handled the firing and the debacle with the quarterback thing, how they can't control any of the players, how there's no accountability on any level whatsoever. And now the hiring of Gettleman to me is just like the ultimate safe decision. I mean, it was like Mara said, okay, what's the easiest way out of it? Well, just hire Gettleman. I don't understand. It's not even that you can't really argue with Gettleman's resume, okay? But you want to sell wholesale changes. You want to sell a shakeup. You want to sell exactly what the fuck you were spitting after you threw McAdoo and Reese under the bus. Then you at least take the time to make the right decision here and interview every possible candidate that you can. And for them to have the opportunity to sit down with Cassiero and not do it, inexcusable. For a 67-year-old guy to beat out Cassiero without even him having the opportunity to sit at the table is complete neglect for the franchise long term. And that's it. So this thing, all for me, this is Mara. Bring me his head on a silver platter. It's his fault from top to bottom, beginning with the McAdoo signing, not being able to control Beckham. It's been a joke, and you can point at the top. I'm done.
So I'll say this. I think that this Gettleman signing, this says two things to me. One, I think that if Louis Riddick was a great candidate, right? If he was even slightly better than Abrams in the interview process in the Giants' mind, I think Riddick gets the job or they go younger and somebody else gets the job. Hiring Gettleman to me means that when they sat down with Abrams, they viewed him as equal to Riddick.
I think you can see that they basically. I think that Riddick didn't get hired for one reason. Riddick has a problem with Odell Beckham Jr. And Mara, for some reason, is letting the inmates run the asylum. Go ahead.
But
no, yeah, go ahead.
With Abrams, I think Abrams is the guy in the future. I think that is what today's hire really means. And I think that
I'm so sick of
they
that
brought in a guy like Gettleman with a proven draft record, a guy that they groomed in their stable and went off to Carolina. And now they're ready for him to come back. They wanted to have 3 or 4 solid drafts, and they want Abrams to come in 3 to 5 years with a solid group of players. And let
I'm sorry. I can't
Abrams
with
make
this.
the cat moves when it's time to make it.
I can't take it.
What
I can't take it because now we're making a decision. So let's hire a 67-year-old guy because we have a guy that when he's 72 we think we can slide right in there. Come on. Come on.
But you're missing the point. What they want right now is a guy that they groomed in their school that's going to draft players that they want to draft.
The school has been remedial.
He's been part of
Gettleman was part of the personnel. The drafts weren't bad.
This whole they groomed McAdoo, how that worked out. Now we're gonna groom Abrams under the guy that groomed under a Corsi that was it. Jesus Christ, enough. It's the same old with this team. It's the same old. And point at the top. They will. This isn't going to change, man. And we saw this coming down the line. We knew it was going to be the same old status quo inside the house. Everybody's same old Giants. Here's Abrams and here's Gettleman, and they're going to sell it to us on a silver platter. And I got news for you. I'm going to tell you now. Okay, that pick. I don't know what they're going to do with that pick. Trade it back, take another guy. Eli Manning is coming back, and so is Davis Webb. And what this signing says to me is that they are still completely delusional to think that this roster is close enough and that they can plug some holes and then be competitive right away. That's what Gettleman says to me, is that you are status quo because he's 67 years old and you think you got a 3 to 4 year window still with Eli, and now we're going to try to do this again with the group of guys that we have. Meanwhile, they have the least amount of money to spend out of anyone in the league via free agency because all their money is tied up in bad contracts. So you tell me what Gettleman, I don't care if he has a magic friggin' wand, where is he nailing the draft in 2 years to be competitive to fill every hole on a damaged roster?
I got a question.
Please, Marco, can you please put the that's not true sound effect, please?
What's not true?
If you go into next year's salary cap, they're in the middle of the road.
They have $60 million less than the Browns.
and the fact is, Gettleman cleaned up the cap problems that Carolina had in 2 years and had them in the Super Bowl.
No.
And
he took a roster. He took a roster that was brimming with talent, and he took all that dead money against the cap. Completely different situation. This roster does not have a lot of talent, and they are crippled. They are cap crippled. All their money is tied up in Vernon. It's tied up in Jenkins. It's tied up in JPP. It's tied up in 36-year-old Eli Manning. Where are they getting the money to do anything with this roster besides take draft picks?
We talked about this last night. Even though you weren't on the show last night. I really think they're going to start doing something with JPP and Vernon. I think that it's going to be restructure your contracts, or you might be gone, might be traded. That's the one thing with Gettleman. He's willing to move
that's
people,
fine.
And I'm cool with that.
And that's fine. But then you're having dead money against the cap, which is fine if you have a GM that's 41 years old because you're not in a rush. When you have a GM that's 67 years old, you have to win now. And I got news for you. There was something on Twitter. I don't forget. It was Stapleton or Cratch or somebody put it. Gettleman wants to win now. He is a win now guy. No excuses. Wants to win now. And that's fine, guys, when you have a roster that's close. But we've spoke about this before. There are two schools of thought. You either think this roster is close or you're wrong.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Marco.
Who was the guy that said that the money would work itself out? That these guys know how to move the money around, and don't worry about that. The money would work itself out. Who was that guy?
That's fine, dude. When you don't have a contract that you just signed, like if you have cap space. If you have cap space, there's ways to maneuver the guys that are already under cap and play with the numbers. If you have cap space, when your money is all tied up and the numbers are already hard against your cap, there's only so much you can do via free agency. You're looking at basically free agency the next couple of years being, now they're going to be able to cut some guys and free up some money, but you're looking at free agency being a plug. Bargain shopping. And that's not, there's nothing wrong with that, but at the same token, look at the bad contracts that are on the roster right now. And you can't just get rid of them unless you trade them. And if you trade them, then you're taking pennies on the dollar, which I'm fine with. But for a 66-year-old GM, can he do that?
But
a 41-year-old GM that has a 10-year, that knows he's going to be here for a decade, isn't afraid to take some chances and do some things and let the first 2 years take some hits on dead money.
I got another question.
Think about what you just said. Hold on. I'll go off the phone while it's hot. Think about what you just said. You just said that that free agency was going to be bargain basement. It was going to be hole filling. There weren't going to be any big splashes. Does that surprise you? Hold on. Does that surprise you that that's what the Giants want to do? Because listen, why are we where we are? In the Giants' mind, they fired Jerry Reese. What did Jerry Reese do the last 2 seasons? He tried to hit home runs.
No. You're missing it. You're missing it. Okay? The thing is not to – you don't want to be in a position where you have to go out. You don't want to be in a position where you have to go out and spend $200 million against the cap in one offseason, but you want to be in a position where you can make any possible move to improve the roster. 2 completely different things, gentlemen.
What move do you want to make? Give me a move.
Who knows? Who knows who becomes available? I don't want to be cap stricken. Right now you're stricken. You got no moves available. And even if you cut these guys or get rid, the only way you can free up the cap space is if somebody's willing to take their whole contract. If you cut them, there's dead money on your cap.
Hold on. This is what I know about Dave Gettleman. And you can't deny this. This is on the record. This is in the history books. He cut Josh Norman.
That's
great. You're complaining about, this means Beckham.
No, I'm not. Justin, what I'm saying is it doesn't add up. I love that he's willing to do that, but if he does that, now you're wasting 2 or 3 years. You got dead money against your cap. You're only building through the draft. How many of those draft picks are you going to hit on? Every one of them? There's too many holes on the roster.
He has a good record of hitting on the draft.
He hit on more than Jerry Reese.
Oh, my God. Guys, all right, so let's pencil them in that we got, over the next 2 years, we got 14 starters. There's going to be 14 starters coming on the next 2 years because this guy doesn't miss on draft picks. Come on.
Since 2010, James?
If you're taking the hit on the dead money does not – all it means is this, is it means that you can't be aggressive as you want to be in certain situations. You have to be patient. How patient can you be with a 36-year-old quarterback and a 67-year-old GM? It doesn't add up.
Exactly what Justin said. All they're doing is grooming Abrams to take over when Gettleman's
you're wasting fucking time. Abrams is a cap guy. He's not a fucking personnel guy. He's a cap specialist. So you're looking to, plug the next 3 years just to get him, just give him the goddamn job then. Enough of this grooming shit.
Gettleman's a better personnel guy right now.
And what if 2 years down the line somebody comes along and takes Abrams? Is he really going to hold the job because he's got a 69-year-old guy that wants to win for 2 more years with Eli Manning?
You know what? Then we go and get Louis Riddick later.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You can't get Louis Riddick because he criticized Odell Beckham Jr., and you're not allowed to have hard feelings towards these players. You can't do it. Stop being so mean to the players.
And that's what Gettleman's known for as well, as far as being hard-nosed to the players.
Hey,
so
if Gettleman was 56 and you told me that he was going to do this, fine. Mm-hmm. Okay? But here's the thing that doesn't add up for me is his age and the timeline it's going to take to rebuild the roster. Either you're keeping these bad contracts on and you're going to build through the draft and try to plug some holes, or you're going to cripple this roster, gut it. And if you gut it, then you're looking at dead money against your cap for the next couple of years. And that's fine if you're willing to say, okay, we're going to build through the draft, take our punches and build for the next year, 2, maybe 3 years, growing pains with a young quarterback before we can go all in for year 4 and start really looking to, plug some holes, free agency, have another strong draft class. There's 2 ways to think of it: win now or win long term. Gettleman to me says win now, and I don't think this roster is anywhere close to winning right now. Close.
Well, honestly, I think we're set up to where we can win now and win later.
Okay.
If we fill the holes on the offensive line and we upgrade
all
the
5 of
linebacker
them?
Position.
I love it. I love all the Giant fans. All we have to do.
I don't think it's all 5. I don't think it's all 5.
All we have to do is, all we need is an offensive line and some defensive linemen and linebackers and another safety and 2 more corners and another receiver and a running back. And that's all we need. That's all we need, guys. And we're so close.
Secondary set.
How is the secondary set? DRC's 32, Apple's taking a shit, and Jenkins gets suspended every other week. How are they set? Come on, guys. Stop looking at it like Giant fans. Look at it like
why are you yelling?
Look at it as a football fan, because it's frustrating. Where are they set?
Should we look at it as Patriots fans?
Yeah.
Look at it as just fucking common sense football fans.
Let's be honest.
Jesus Christ.
Let's go position by position. Quarterback, we're going to draft a quarterback. So let's just say we're set. We're set. Do they need to upgrade the running back?
I don't want to rain on anybody's parade, but I don't think we're taking a quarterback.
Neither do I, Justin. I think they're trading the pick. I really do.
If we stay put, we're taking a quarterback. If we trade back, obviously we won't.
Well, if you're picking it too, let me tell you something. You want to see me fucking storm the castle? You want to see YouTube videos of a crazy person with a fucking torch marching towards the Meadowlands? Let them use that number 2 pick on anything but a quarterback. I will fucking flip out, gentlemen. I swear to God, I will end up in a fucking home with a straitjacket on. You either take a quarterback at 2 or you trade that pick to somebody who wants to take a quarterback 2. You do not take a running back or a tackle there or anything like that. That's a quarterback or trade it back. That pick is a king's ransom.
You can take this right now. I 100% agree with James on that point.
100%. It's just football 101, guys.
100%.
And especially if the reports coming out are true that Cleveland is infatuated with this kid Allen now. Because if that's the case and Cleveland is going to take Allen, well, now you're sitting with the keys to the castle. Who wants Rosen? Who wants Darno? Come get your guy. What are you offering?
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be.
Hold on. Let's take a call. Hold on. Caller at 631. You there?
Yeah.
What's your name? Where you call from?
My name's Luke, and I'm from Bayshore, New York.
What's up, Luke? So what do you think about this hire?
Luke. What did you think of The Last Jedi, Luke? Are you our Skywalker or no?
I used to get that a lot when I was younger, but I'm just glad Jerry Reese is gone. Everyone's complaining. I think we should all be glad that Jerry Reese is gone because he really destroyed this franchise over the past 5 years.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was honestly mad when he drafted Odell Beckham Jr. I was so pissed when he drafted Evan Ingram. It really killed me when he took Sterling Shepard in the 2nd round. You know, he just
those are his only 3 good picks, though.
I will tell you the straw that broke the Reese's Camelback with me was when he reached for Flowers and left Gurley on the board. That's what took my In Reese We Trust. That's what really put a dent in that whole In Reese We Trust thing. But go ahead, buddy. What else is on your mind?
I wanted Reese gone after the 2013 season. I think they should have let Coughlin resign and fire him right then and there, but they took too long with the grace period.
Yeah, we can argue that. I definitely understand that.
Because we did win the Super Bowl in 2011, but if you're looking at it as a football fan, not a Giants fan, that was the worst Super Bowl team to ever win a Super Bowl. So
it was a pretty bad Super Bowl team.
It was the worst Super Bowl team to ever win. So if anyone
they couldn't run the ball.
Patriots weren't that good that year. They got a little too much credit. Coughlin and Eli single-handedly won that Super Bowl. Reese had nothing to do with that. And the 2007 team was a Corsi's team.
So the team.
So I don't give Reese any credit. I think he should have been gone a while ago. And I think Gettleman's a good choice because they should have hired him in 2007 instead of Reese. I think we would have been way better off.
I wouldn't have had a problem in 2007. He wouldn't have been at the early bird special buffet at 5 o'clock and 3:30 in the afternoon a decade ago.
But it's delicious.
Yep.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah, my second choice was that guy McGloin from the Redskins, but I guess they didn't want to take a gamble on him. I think he would have been a good GM too.
He's a drunk, ain't he?
Yeah, he has a problem with the bottle, I think.
Supposedly the Redskins lied about that. Dan Snyder lied about that. He got jealous because everyone liked McGloin better than him, so he lied.
I can, you know what, honestly, Ralph, that's pretty screwed up, but I could definitely see Schneider doing that.
Yeah, supposedly he's suing the guy. He's trying to sue him and Bruce Allen now. So,
I mean, my thing is, like I said, I don't, like, I get the whole Gettleman signing. I get it, but to me it was the safest guy out there, and I would have liked for once for them to just wait, show a little patience, and at least sit down with some of the hotter names out there, some of the younger guys out there, and at least hear what they had to say. And if they don't come in and blow the doors off the interview and Gettleman's still your guy, so be it. He was going to be there 2-3 weeks from now.
James, be honest. If they interviewed Castro and, they hired Gettleman like 2 days later,
at least they would have sat down with him. Maybe reports come out that he blew the interview. No, I wouldn't have been happy, but at least at that point, what do I know, though? What do I know, though? Maybe Gettleman is the right guy. But my thing is you sit down with every possible candidate that you have.
Look at Gettleman's track record. I think he's been on 7 Super Bowl teams in his career. So, I mean, the guy has a good resume.
The guy is 67 years old. If you are going to break down this roster, if you're going to break, are you of the mindset that this roster is close, or do you think that this roster needs to be completely gutted?
I think that, put it this way, I think as of now, we have just as good as a roster as the Cleveland Browns. But I think Gettleman can flip it around easily. I think we keep Beckham, we keep Shepard, we keep Ingram, we keep Collins, and we get rid of everybody else. That's what I think.
But if you get rid of everybody else, then that opens a lot of holes. Okay, that means you're having a lot of dead money on your cap.
Yeah,
but if you have a solid but hold on though, because if you have a solid draft, see where I'm going with this? If you have a solid draft, how many solid players are you getting out of the 7? Can you guarantee that?
Well, now that we don't have Reese, I'd say 5 out of 7.
So you're going to say so 5 out, can we go back and look at Gettleman's drafts and see if he's hit on 5 out of 7 draft picks routinely? Because if you're going to go that route,
16 of his draft
they're all
picks
playing.
in Carolina.
They're all playing.
If you're going to go that route for the next 2 years, you better get 13 out of 16.
And also free agency, and he might get a couple free undrafted free agents that turn out to be good. You never know. I mean, look at his record with Carolina.
Hey, I'm all for it. I hope it works out. What I'm saying is that you're basing this. You're looking at it and you're saying there's a 3-year window, and every move has to go right. And the odds of that happening, guys, for as much as we want to say it, the odds of that happening, every move going correctly to be able to fill the hole on this roster have enough depth.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. In 2007 and 2011, what were the odds of the Giants beating the Patriots in the Super Bowl? I bet you didn't think that was going to happen either.
No, James was rooting for the Patriots.
Yeah. No, I wasn't.
The Giants are known for pulling stuff out of their ass. Even in 1990 when they beat the Bills. Is that the goal to every 4 or 5 years to pull one out of our asses? No,
to me, that's not the goal.
I think Gettleman will come in and turn things around. I think
me,
the culture got
biting off your nose to spite your face.
Huh?
To me, you're biting off your nose to spite your face. You're gambling on 2 to 3 years instead of looking at the situation and saying, we have the potential right now to get ourselves a quarterback for the next 12 to 14 years. So you're mortgaging the next 12 to 14 years for the next 2 to 3 years. You better be right. Because if they pass on Rosen or Darno or one of these guys and they end up being superstars, you're going to have a lot of upset Giant fans.
I don't agree that they're going to pass on a quarterback.
I think Rosen's going to be the best. I think he's the best choice. I think he's better than Darnold. He reminds me of Aaron Rodgers.
I would agree with you. I think Rosen's the better guy.
I agree with him as well.
But guys, but if you're Gettleman, right, and allow me to play devil's advocate. If you're Gettleman, and I'm sitting here from the perspective that you guys have, that the roster is close, why am I taking a quarterback at 2?
Because you got to look to their future as well.
Do you think the roster's close? They have
why? But wait, hold on, wait. From your argument, taking a quarterback at 2 would be completely asinine. I have Manning, I have Webb. I can trade back, get a king's ransom, and get more picks to try to build my roster that I think is close enough to compete for a Super Bowl.
That's if you believe in Webb.
Yeah,
it's if he believes in Eli and he thinks the roster's close enough. You can say, I'm going to continue to groom Webb for the plan doesn't change at quarterback.
All right, I'm going to the next caller.
I think McAdoo, the only right choice he made this year was benching Eli because right then and there they should have started evaluating Webb. How are we going to know?
I love you. Give him a round of applause for saying that. Beautiful.
Oh, God, there we go.
Beautiful.
All right, I'm going to go to the next
That's exactly where they screwed up.
The lines are lining up. Hold on. Ready?
Calls will line up.
203
people want to yell at me.
That's
203 area code. Let's yell at James. Where you calling from?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, it's Dean from Connecticut. What's going on?
Dean, I got a question for you. You ready?
Shoot, brother.
How many teams went from last place last year to first place this year? How many teams? You know?
How many? What? Just the Rams, right?
That's one.
Well, no, they weren't last.
A few more. In their division.
The Rams, I'm gonna say.
Jags.
The
Jaguars,
Jags,
number 2.
Okay. How many
Eagles?
Not a lot because you're making me sound stupid right now.
Eagles, number 3.
Dean, he's trying to prove a point, Dean, that the Giants are going to go from worst to first next year.
Because they are. If I could just put my 2 cents in on this.
There you go.
There is no chance the Giants are going from worst to first next year, and I'll give you some reasons. Number one,
Dean, the voice of reasons.
Number one,
we
have the slowest and weakest linebacker core in the league. Don't boo me, bro. I'm a Giants fan in and out. We haven't addressed the linebacker spot in, since fucking Carl Banks? I mean, Jesus Christ. Eli Apple's out there trying to fight the fucking coach. You have no discipline in that locker room whatsoever, all right? Your bright spot's Odell Beckham, who doesn't know how to shut his mouth and wants to marry fucking field goal nets. I mean,
I love
disarray.
Dean.
Oh, God, it's like James Jr. coming in.
Yeah, the callers. I have lit an awakening. I have lit a fire back under my fan base where we will not take it anymore from you giant snowflakes who think that we're not Giant fans because we can actually tell what the fuck is going on here and don't have a problem calling a spade a spade.
Constructive criticism, people. That's what this is.
Exactly, Dean.
Criticism. All right, can I tell you some more? Tom fucking Quinn needed to be fired years ago. We have had the worst fucking special teams in God knows how long we've been horrible, but the Giants are an organization who likes to be faithful to their people, which is kicking them in the ass right now. All right? If you really wanted to see what you had in Webb, you never would have started fucking Geno Smith if you're benching Eli. And go ahead and If they go draft a quarterback in the first round, to me, that's saying they fucked up by taking Webb in the third round last year when they had plenty of different options. I mean, really,
it's not necessarily that.
Cornerstone pieces on the whole roster.
It's not necessarily that. If I don't mind them taking a quarter. You see, that there has to be a clear-cut direction of where the franchise is going. You cannot have your Eli cake and eat it too. Okay, if Eli Manning there are two. It's one or the other right now, Giant fans. There's two sides of the coin. You either think that this team is close enough, and if you think this team is close enough to win a Super Bowl with Eli Manning coming back, then to take a quarterback at 2 makes no sense whatsoever. It would make more sense to take as many picks as you can because someone's going to offer a king's ransom. Take all those picks, trade back, and then take players to fill the holes in your roster. Or the flip side of the coin is...
What if they give Webb a shot in the second half against the Redskins, and he
Is that enough? Is that enough to tell?
Trade bait?
Because but first of all, come on. Let's look at it. Let's not just look at this. There's 31 other teams in the league. Okay, now if you're a GM for an opposing team, not a Giants fan, but if you're an opposing GM, okay, are you going to sit there and go, let me see. They didn't have this kid active all fucking year. Then all of a sudden they make him active. They throw him in the second half. He throws 3 touchdowns. Let me give them a second-round pick for this kid. No way.
It'd be nice.
It's not happening.
You know what I mean?
You're not going to get anything for Webb. Webb is yours right now. He's on your roster, whether you like it or not. He's a third-round pick.
This motherfucker instead of drafting a quarterback.
But because it's too late. First of all, it would have been hard enough to evaluate Webb if you played him for 6 games, never mind a half of a game. So they've blown the chance to evaluate Webb. Okay, the thing with Webb is you wanted to see how he grew over a month or so in the season. Was there some progression? You're not going to see that in a half of football.
Favre? What about Rodgers under Favre? They didn't throw him in at all. They let him groom for 4 years until he threw him in.
Are we really trying to compare Aaron Rodgers, who dropped in the draft, who a lot of people thought was going in the top 5, to Davis Webb?
Negative.
I mean, come on. Everybody knew Rodgers was a player. He just dropped in the draft.
Yep, but they were comparing
Rodgers for any other team would have played day one. He just ended up being behind Favre. Green Bay was smart enough not to let him continue to drop. But you can't compare the two. Also, when Favre was playing, but they were always playing for a playoff spot. The reason why Geno was number 2 all season long is because they were delusional to the point where they still thought they could make a run for the playoffs.
Which is absurd.
They completely failed in every way imaginable this season. You have to be able to read the tea leaves at 1-6, 1-7, and realize, wow, there's quarterbacks coming out in the draft. We're not making the playoffs. Our quarterback's 36, making $20 million, and we just took a kid in the 3rd round. Maybe we should see this kid before we're in a position to take another quarterback. It's not rocket science. And then when they had the balls to make the move, the snowflakes blow up. True. And Mara throws everybody under the bus, and now the whole opportunity to see Webb is wasted because Mara has no balls. So now you're in the position where there's 2 things.
I got a question.
Go, Justin.
I got a question. And call me crazy.
Yeah.
No.
Crazy?
You're crazy.
But, I mean, there's such a thing as practice, right?
Come on, man. We're talking about practice.
Practice?
I mean,
what are you, Allen Iverson?
That's where I was going. Good call, Dean.
I knew you were going.
That's fine with me. But, I mean, Webb, somebody's seen something in Webb that has said that he's not ready to play. And it's not uncommon for quarterbacks to have that.
I disagree.
He was Goff's backup, wasn't he? Goff's backup?
I completely disagree. You look around the league and look at some of the fucking clusterfucks that are playing quarterback. To me, it doesn't matter. You have to read the situation. Okay? They'll tell you it's not the Giants' way. Okay? to do that. It's not the Giants' way to disrespect Eli Manning. It's not the Giants' way to fire a coach in the middle of the season either, and they did it.
I don't want
it's not, dude. You don't know.
No more.
Dean, focus.
Right.
Focus.
Focus.
It's not about. It's not about Graham and Dave Brown. I've lived through that. I've seen it. Okay. The situation is this. It's a unique situation. It's the perfect storm. It wasn't Eli's fault. It's a combination of the season going terribly wrong, having a very high draft pick, and couple that with the fact that you have around 3 guys coming out of the draft, quarterbacks that people are raving about, that are drooling all over these 3 guys. So it's a combination, and then add on to that you just took Webb in the 3rd round. So it's a combination of all of those things that have to lead ownership to recognize the situation and say, I'm going to fire the coach and the GM. I can't leave the decision up to them. I have to do what's best for the long-term interest of my franchise. And whether Webb is ready or not, I need to see him.
But they fired the guy that took Webb in the 3rd round. So
I'm going to hold on.
It does not matter. He's on your roster. You have to see him. It does not. So you're going to evaluate all the other guys that Reese took, all the other younger players that Reese took to be evaluated, not the quarterback. If there was any other quarterback besides Eli Manning on the goddamn roster, we would have saw Webb this season. But nobody has the balls to fucking tell Eli to sit down.
No,
there's your story.
Geno Smith was on the roster. That was the
problem. No, that wasn't the problem. That wasn't the problem at all. You thought you had a Super Bowl team. Geno Smith was not the fucking problem. They thought they had a Super Bowl team, and God forbid something happened to Eli. They wanted a guy who at least started some friggin' games on the roster where they could throw him in a tough spot or a spot start, because it's bullshit, okay? Geno had nothing to do with this. And the fact that the owner can't come in and say, listen, I want to see Geno and I want to see this, Eli, sit the fuck down, is ridiculous. That's what it came down to. Nobody had the balls to tell Eli to sit down and stay down.
Hold on.
Why do you want to see Geno?
Hold on.
You not seeing what he is?
Hold on. I'm going to get to the next call. I have Dean on hold. I have James on hold. Hold on. This guy's been waiting for a little bit. We got full lines. Hold on.
Fired up, man. Fuck.
You're back on. What's up, caller from 845? Where are you calling from?
And I do have a point about your little first round quarterback draft.
Originally.
But
sorry, what was that? From New York?
Poughkeepsie, New York, originally.
Yeah, what's your name?
Well, first off, the development of Webb was severely impacted by our head coach. If you remember, he was one of the guys who pushed for Webb in the draft and why we have him in the first place. Secondly, and he's the one who had Geno ahead of him and had all his faith in Geno. Also,
because they thought they had a playoff team. Oh, Christ.
Yeah, but they thought they had a playoff team before all our wide receivers went down.
The plan when we first drafted Webb was we did not want – the plan was, yes, let's have him hold a clipboard for the first year or two, okay? And that's why they had Geno there, so they had some veteran depth.
So but even in the practice, he was taking third-string reps.
Oh, my God, Jesus Christ. Before Eli Manning was benched, 2 weeks prior to that, the writing was on the wall. There was a report out that they were looking at the kids coming out in the draft. Okay? Yeah. 2 weeks later, Merritt says to Reese, when are we going to get a chance to see Geno and Webb? Reese says, and this is all, I'm not making this shit up. I'm not making this shit up. Like, no. Yes, he did. Go listen to the Francesa interview. He did. Okay, he said, when do we get a chance to look at the other kids? Geno included. Okay, the plan was to go to Geno in Oakland and then go to Webb in Dallas for the rest of the season. The fan base went nuts. Mara flipped out, threw him under the bus, and put the plan back on the shelf.
Well,
the plan was in motion to see Webb for an extended period of time, gentlemen, and Mara nixed it. He fired McAdoo. The reason why Webb wasn't active up until that point is they thought they were playing for a goddamn playoff run. They thought they were going on a streak. Hence the veteran still being second.
That was ridiculous when we were signing wide receivers off the street because
Agreed.
we didn't have a wide receiver core.
Agreed, my friend.
Yeah. But here's some other reasons for optimism. It's not like we don't have certain cornerstones within this organization that we have to build off of. Yes, we have wide gaping holes. We have one of the best safeties in the game when he's healthy.
Agreed.
Right now he's got a broken forearm. We have a good running back and Gallman, who could be, looks like he's maybe a year or two away from being able to have, a 3-down back potentially if he can end up getting his fumble problem taken care of. We have a good tight end, looks like, who we just ended up drafting. We have Odell Beckham, one of the top wide receivers in the league.
Sterling Shepard as well.
Yeah, and then you have one of the best defensive tackles in Harrison.
This is correct. Thanks for calling in. I'm going to put you on hold. I want to get to this prank caller right away.
All right.
Are we going to prank?
We ready? Yeah, we got to prank her right away. Ready?
Hopefully, don't be racist. If you're going to prank, fine, but don't be racist.
Yeah, don't throw the N-word out there or call anyone any
let's not be racist. If you're going to prank, let's come up with a good one. We don't mind it. We like it. Go.
Let's get.
But
to
it's okay to be. It's okay to be an ageist because we can't hire a 67-year-old GM. Just saying.
Yes. It's okay to be. Yes.
And I just want to put out there, it was fine when Green Bay was going to the playoffs, and they drafted a quarterback in the first round, and they just sat him for 3 years, but they were still making playoffs. I mean, that's just stupid the way to pick like that.
Hold on. Before we take the prank, come on, focus, Tim. They were sitting in a position where they knew Favre was in his mid-30s, and who would have thought where they were picking that Rodgers was even going to be available? That's another one of those perfect storm where you're sitting in the draft room and you're like, this fucking kid is sitting here right now? We can take this kid right now? We're going to take him.
That's what Giants are. Let's see, Eli's in his mid-30s, and we're in a position to draft.
But you have Webb. You have Webb, who people are saying this kid is good. Don't take another QB. It's either or. You either take a young QB at 2, and he's going to be your starter for the next 10 to 12 years right away, and goodbye, Eli, or you trade back, and Eli's your QB. Can we get Frank?
Yeah, let's get Frank. Caller, are you there?
Yeah.
What's your name?
My name's Paul.
What's up, Paul? Where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm calling from Charlotte, North Carolina, but I was born and raised in Jersey, and I'm a diehard Giants fan. Gettleman was the Panthers GM for a long time. Well, not
give us a little
time,
insight on Gettleman from North Carolina. What do you know about him?
Yeah, 4 years. Well, listen, 3 NFC East championships, 1 Super Bowl run. He did a lot in 4 years,
That's right.
It did a lot in 4 years. And, Jerry Richardson just out of nowhere, just dropped Gettleman out of there, fired him. And it just so happens that now Jerry Richardson is going to sell the team. There's a lot of shady business going down here too, but one thing Gettleman does do is he gets rid of a lot of players that Carolina loved. He got rid of Steve Smith. He got rid of a lot of players. And then a lot of people are starting to think that about the Giants now. Beckham's contract is going to come up. What is he going to do? Ship him off to Philly? I hope not,
If he wants to really get on my good side, this Gettleman guy, he could fucking trade Odell Beckham Jr. Oh,
I know.
How he would just, oh my lordy, Gettleman, how I would love it.
Yeah. Player.
Oh my God.
One good thing, man. Gettleman. If you're, what he does, man. As soon as there's a free agent on the market, he tries to get it. He got rid of Ted Ginn Jr. in Panthers. He got rid of Steve. He got rid of a lot of players, but you know what? 3 NFC East titles and a Super Bowl run in 4 years.
NFC South.
And he came from New York. He came from the Giants. He's a Boston asshole, but he came from the Giants. So
damn straight.
All right. Anyway, go Yankees, go Giants, man.
Gettleman was part of.
Thanks for calling in. I'm going to put you on hold for a second. Hold on. We got a full line.
Yeah, man. Thank all these guys calling in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for calling in. We know we're at least me. I'm sorry for being a dick sometimes, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to our next.
That should be an apology every time we start calling.
All right,
I'm
ready?
like Alex Jones, that guy on InfoWars. I got to keep up. I'm sorry.
Draft.
What's up, caller? Where are you calling from?
Illinois.
217 area code.
Illinois. What's up, Illinois? What's up, little man? What's going on?
What's your name?
Zach. Addison and Colton. Zach
and Colton?
It's just Zach.
I feel bad that this kid's listening to us. We're dropping F-bombs and
hold on now. It's good for him. It's all in context. It's all football talk. Don't talk like this in school or in front of adults or anything like that. It's good. How old are you, buddy?
12.
12. Okay, so let's not be naive. I was 12 growing up in the Bronx. We all spoke. We all, threw some curse words out. You're not hurting anybody. Just don't be disrespectful to adults and listen to your mom and dad. What do you want to talk about?
Football. That's what they called for. Who are the Giants going to draft other than a quarterback if they take a first rounder?
Let's ask you that. Let's ask you that, dude. What do you? If you were right now, if you were Gettleman, if you were the GM of the Giants, right, and you're sitting at number 2, what would you do? Would you trade back or would you take another guy? What would you do with the number 2 pick?
No idea. I'm a Packers fan.
Okay. We were just talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Did you see? Do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to be released?
Wait, what did the kid say?
He was fine.
He said he's a Packers fan.
Yeah.
Is he still with us?
No, he hung up.
Oh, I was going to ask. Did you guys see?
He couldn't take the heat in the kitchen. He had to get out.
Did you guys see the story about? I doubt it'll happen, but it's pretty funny and it's something to keep an eye on. Did you guys see the story about how a lot of owners are going after the Packers because they're saying that Aaron Rodgers should be released?
Yeah, he should be a free agent right now.
That he should be a free agent because he was designated on IR. They took him off IR, and then you can only go back on IR under a different injury. And apparently they never designated a different injury and just put him back on IR. So, dude, how funny. So you won't be pranking us, little man, if Aaron Rodgers all of a sudden becomes a free agent. Just going to say that. Keep an eye on that story, little guy. But, guys, do you see how I mentored that kid? Do you see how nice I was?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
That was James.
Do we have to talk in kid voices so you can
was that James or Jimmy?
I don't know who that was. I'm not familiar with that personality. That one even surprised me.
I'm gonna do a 2-minute pause on the call just to get the bearings back.
I have a question.
Yes, Justin, please.
You're allowed to ask.
So, I mean, isn't it altogether possible that maybe, like, whether or not we pick a quarterback is going to be based on who the head coach is?
No.
Honestly, I think we're getting a defensive head coach.
No, like that, to me, that's the general manager. Like, the coach has to be included in that, but the general manager needs to make the decision on who on what direction the roster is going to go and how he's going to build the roster, or why even fucking have him there.
If we take a defensive head coach, and
they're trading back if they take a defensive head coach,
and they think this roster is close,
which they do,
then I think the pick is Saquon Barkley. The question is how far can you drop back
Barkley
to still be able to take him?
Well, it depends on what. It depends. It depends. Yeah, it depends on who. I mean, it depends, dude, on who lines up where, because you got to figure that you can't go any farther back than 4 without biting your fingernails. Because if the rumors are true and the Browns are going to take Allen at 1, then you have to assume that Rosen and Darnold in any one of the two in any one of the orders Darnell first or Rosen first, whatever the hell, are going to go 2 and 3. Because you have to figure that even if the teams on the board don't need a quarterback per se at those spots, there are going to be teams willing to trade up to get those guys at those spots. So you figure that the first 3 picks, if Allen is going to be one of them, are going to be quarterbacks, so the draft starts at 4. So
yeah,
I
really see Indianapolis getting Saquon Barkley. And that's the problem.
But Indianapolis would be foolish. If Indianapolis is sitting at 3, then they would be absolutely foolish. Where if someone is offering them a King's rank, and I got another thing for you guys, and don't be surprised right now. Right? Okay, I'm going to throw this one out here. Don't be surprised if Indianapolis doesn't trade the pick and ends up taking a quarterback. And I'm going to tell you this for 2 reasons. One, you can probably get a pretty nice ransom, even with Luck coming off the injury, for Luck, where you could definitely get at least a first-round pick and maybe probably another late-round pick for Andrew Luck. And you get Luck off the surgery with that huge contract off of your roster, and you're able to replace him with a guy that you think may be able to be there for 10, 12 years. And you're sitting in position where if the Browns take Allen, you're getting Rosen or Darnold. You don't care what happens in front of you. You're content with taking either one. Don't be surprised if you hear rumors of that playing out over the course of the next couple of months.
Yeah. Indianapolis has a lot of holes. I definitely think that they would be a trade partner with somebody.
Don't you think so? I mean, especially if they're going to fire their head coach and all that stuff, like maybe it's time to, you could probably get a nice thing for Luck. You don't got to take a risk on his surgery, and you're in a position where you could replace him with another guy. And like we said earlier in the show, usually it's rare to be in a situation where you can replace a quarterback or hit the reset button with one of these kids coming out of the draft. It's rare that there's 2 or 3 of them. They're in position to get one at least.
All right, we got 48 minutes to go. Let's go to the next caller, see what they have to say. Maybe it's a 13-year-old. Let's check it out.
We got callers lined up tonight.
What's up, caller?
Hello?
From the 331 area code. 14 years old. Here we go.
It's another kid. We got kids calling in. Watch your language. What's up, dude?
What's up?
Do you say your prayers and eat your vitamins?
No.
This kid's NWO.
Do you like the NWO? You know who the
What's
NWO
that?
is.
What do you want to talk about, little dude?
I want to talk about the Colts.
The Colts.
Go.
Colts. Is that your team?
Hey, do you think that they're gonna trade Andrew Luck?
Yes.
I think they could. Do you think they could trade Andrew Luck? Do you think they should?
No, I don't think. No, I don't think. I don't think they should.
You don't think they should? Are you a Colts fan?
Yeah.
See, I'm with you. I would, if it's me, I wouldn't trade Andrew Luck. I like Andrew Luck. I think he's a really good QB, and I know what I have with Andrew Luck, so I wouldn't be willing to do it. The problem is that Andrew Luck makes a lot of money, and sometimes these guys don't care, that me and you like Andrew Luck, and they'll trade him or get rid of him just to free up the salary cap. So keep an eye on that story going forward, because there were some rumors about it earlier in the season that he may want out. So we'll see what happens this offseason before the draft.
Colts fan.
Right. Dropping knowledge on these youngsters.
Hold on.
On your good side is just have a kid call in, and you're fine.
Yeah, I'm good with kids, right?
Yeah.
That's how we calm them down.
The problem is you're a dick when it comes to adults.
I hate adults.
Are you still on the line, Colts fan?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
What's your first name?
Bob.
Bob.
Yeah, I'm sure it's Bob.
Okay, Bob. If you could tell me who is in this clip that I'm going to play, who's laughing in this clip, you get to stay on the line. Are you ready?
Okay.
Who is it?
Santa?
Santa.
Santa, goodbye.
No,
Thanks
sorry.
for calling in.
Hang up on that kid. Wrong.
Yeah. That was.
Little man, you need to Google the $1 Million Man. Okay?
You know the $1 Million Man was like 20 years ago.
Ted DiBiase.
Okay. Hold on. We got another caller. Ready? 15 years old I'm going for.
Another caller. Is it a lady?
What's up, 217 area code? Where are you calling from?
Illinois.
Here we go.
Again?
Packer fan.
It's a Packer
No,
fan?
I'm not a Packers fan. It's my brother.
Oh, all right, what up, dude? Who do you root for?
What?
Who do you root for?
No. Go Pack, go! Go Pack, go! Shut up, Zachary. Go Pack, go! Shut up!
Go Pack, go! Go Pack,
You
go.
cheated. You put him on IR. You took him off IR. You put him back on IR.
All right. I'm gonna go caller free for a minute. The young ones are taking over. Hold on. He's still holding on for 20 minutes. Hold on. Steve, you still there? You fell asleep? What's going on?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
I've been talking. You guys.
No, the guy behind you.
You guys got me muted. I've been responding. You ain't talking back.
We got
to
a
me.
shorter run, Dean. We got people calling in. You see all the kids? We're doing community service here. We're talking to the kids.
Like
We're educating the kids.
Here, dude.
Yeah, These kids are on Christmas break. They're listening. The audience is getting wide. They're calling from Norway. Come on, it's a good time. Dino.
Yes, sir. But you guys, I thought you had me muted, so you weren't responding to my laughs and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, I can't hear you when you're on the mute button, but you can hear us.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it is, huh? Yeah, I'm still here, and Go Pack Go stuff it's a Giants podcast. Last time I checked, bro.
We don't discriminate against other teams in the league. We're knowledgeable to talk about all fans and all fan bases.
Yeah,
we don't discriminate here.
We do have a Patriots fan as a host, so
we're happy that they're listening. For Christ's sakes.
Can I ask
you
you guys a question in all honesty? You guys give
sure.
your honest opinion?
I will never give an honest opinion.
All rumblings about Bruce Arians wanting to leave Arizona. Do you think he would be a good fit with Big Blue? Would play for BA, dude. To be honest with you, I think the players would play for him.
I'd rather have the other guy I'm hearing is I'm hearing Bill O'Brien.
No, I'm telling you who your coach is right now. It's Wilkes.
Wilkes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
If
telling you who the coach is right now. It's Wilkes.
Free, he's going to be the coach. I'm going to tell you right now.
Forget Bill O'Brien. Forget him. It's Wilkes.
I'm talking about Bruce Arians.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, and I would rather him over Wilkes. But that's who your next coach is going to be. It's going to be Wilkes.
I think Bruce Arians would be a good coach for us, but it sounds like he wanted to retire.
And you guys agree with that caller that says Wayne Gallman's a true third down back? Like, honestly?
No, I don't think he's going to be a third. I think that people are absolutely fucking crazy that they think that this team has.
Bro.
Like everybody's like, oh, we have Snacks, we have this guy, we have that guy. We haven't. Our defense was awful, absolutely awful in every way, shape, and form.
Even
at every
Jenkins
level this year, they were
looking horrible.
And everybody's like, just bring them back. They'll be fine. Just change the coaches and bring them back. We'll be fine. Just bring everybody back.
Here we go with the lines again.
Let's just go ahead and do it, right?
Oh, please don't. Oh, here we go with the lines again. Ready?
Oh, here we go. Another kid.
Full deck.
I'm starting to lose my patience with the kids, Marco. I may not be nice anymore if they call it.
This one looks familiar. 917 cell phone 270.
917. That's.
917's what? New York?
We need more female callers.
Caller, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Ned.
It's Ned. Ned's on the line.
You thought I wouldn't weigh in on this?
No, we were hoping Ned would weigh in. Let's go, buddy. Give it to me.
Give it to us, Ned.
He's with you.
I'm
Justin, don't egg him on.
I'm incredibly intrigued to see how long Gettleman stays here, because
there you go.
That is what I am wondering is how long is he going to be here? Is this going to be a temporary patch?
What are they going to give Mark Ross the job?
Well, no.
No. How about giving Riddick the job? How about interviewing Cassiero? How about he could have went a million different directions.
Heir apparent.
Yeah, that's right. So apparently Gettleman's just holding the job for Abrams. There's no reason to just going to have Abrams there.
Well, it's Corsi's fault. You can't admit
hanging out.
Well, you know what I mean.
No, it's not a Corsi's fault. It's Mara's fault. It's the owner's fault.
He brought a Corsi in, bro. So technically, you know what I mean? It's both of their fault.
No, it's Mara's fault for handing the decision over to somebody else instead of making the fucking decision himself.
The buck always stops.
Where's Steve Tisch and all this fucking shit?
Right there with him, hand in hand. Dumb and Dumber.
You know? Dumb and Dumber.
Well, I know where Steve Tisch was last Wednesday night, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, can we get a breakdown on what happened there, Marco?
Yeah.
Tell us the story on air or not.
So,
Marco, Tim wants to pretend it's around the campfire at camp. Tell us a story.
Okay. So,
shit.
You know my friend works for that restaurant group that holds a lot of parties for the Giants and stuff like that. So that's how I got into the draft party. So I got a text from him. He's like, Steve Tisch is going to be here later on. And I was at work, and I was like, oh, shit, how the hell am I going to get there? So after work, I jet on down there, and he's just about leaving in the VIP area. I go get my friend. I go in. He's leaving the area, but in there is David Deal. Now, said what's up to David Deal, see what was going on, talked to him for a little bit, and I can't tell you much what happened, but he might be coming on the podcast. We follow each other on Twitter. We'll see what's going on.
That would be phenomenal. It's so much better that you were there as opposed to me.
Yeah.
This was
I would have got arrested.
I would have got arrested.
I would have got arrested. Steve would have not been able to get away or out of that restaurant without explaining to me and having it make sense why Davis Webb was not playing. There would have been a severe. He would have had to sit down and logically explain to me and have it make sense for me to get him to leave that restaurant without stabbing him with a fork.
This was the day that I think either the day or the day after that they were that they interviewed Riddick. I think it was the day after. But I went in there, like, originally I wasn't in the VIP area until my friend got me in there. So they were like, camera, because I was like, I was trying to live stream it to be a dick. But they were like, you wouldn't have seen anything anyway, but it was so dark. They told me, like, cameras down, and then they put me in, and then they didn't give a shit once I was in the cool crowd. But David Deal was the only guy that I recognized in Tisch and his girlfriend. But yeah, that's a close run-in.
Now, didn't you have 4 people roll up on you?
Yeah, so that was security who told me to put the cameras down.
They rolled up?
They rolled up, yeah.
Could they roll out?
I would have been like, it's a free country, Attica.
Yeah, they're like, it's a free country over there. Go ahead.
It's a free country over there. Not here.
Oh, you guys crack me up, man.
All right, let's go to the next caller. 516 area code. Average age of today's caller is
12.
13. Let's see what this guy says. What's going on, Cole? You there?
Ned's not done.
Yeah,
Ned's got other things to say. I know that. What's up, buddy?
I got all the lines open.
Oh. All right. Anyway, Gettleman 66. Does anyone want to take me up on
over
a bet that he's? I say he's out before 70.
Oh, I'm with you. I will
agree.
Yeah, I think this is a complete patchwork to try to. I think that they were like, you know what? Here's what's happening. Eli is your guy. He's not going anywhere to all you Eli lovers. This move, Gettleman coming back, lines up with Eli's window, and they're going to take a 2 to 3 year run with a 67-year-old GM to try to plug the roster and get them in the playoffs deep enough over the course of the next 2 or 3 years to give Eli another shot. There you go.
Need some fucking running backs, bro.
Yeah. You need a lot. Yeah. You need a lot.
We could use an overhaul besides like 6 players.
And here's the thing, guys. Here's what you need to understand, too, guys. Okay, it's not just a starting defensive tackle and 3 starting linebackers and a starting safety and a starting corner and a starting left tackle and a starting right tackle. It's depth. Because during the course of an NFL season, you cannot get by with just your starters. And you need to have enough depth on the roster to be able to plug those holes. So when you really look at the Giants roster, guys, can you plug those holes and be deep enough to plug those holes with the contracts you have, with the way the cap looks, over a 2 to 3 year span?
No.
I don't think you could. I'm with you, Dean. I don't think you could. I don't think it's realistic. And I think they're going to blow a golden opportunity to take one of these quarterbacks and to have a quarterback for the next 10 to 14 years on their roster. They're going to bite their nose to spite their face.
You don't think it's important to get rid of Tom Quinn and have a decent special teams, though? I mean, special teams sets you up.
The whole staff is going, dude. Don't worry about that. Once they have a new coach, the whole staff is going.
Period.
I hope so.
I'm not worried about that.
They're gone.
I was reading an article about Gettleman that he was actually kind of pissed at his end time in New York because he was hoping that he would get some sort of promotion along that line, and he was surprised when he got the Panthers job because he felt he was too old in the league. That was 4 years ago. I can't imagine now that he's thinking like super longevity.
What he's doing with the Jaguars.
This is Mara. This dude, play the song from Rocky IV, dude. There's no easy way out. Yeah, there is.
There's no
Hire
easy
Gettleman.
way out.
Yeah, there is the Hire Gettleman. That's the easy way out, dude. He found the easy way out.
I called weeks ago, dude. I called Gettleman hiring weeks ago. Everyone on Twitter told me I was stupid and I didn't know what I was talking about.
He's the safest guy they could have selected is Gettleman. The safest guy.
Look, the one bright side is I think with Gettleman in, JPP is either getting cut or traded.
Oh, God, I hope so. JPP... Get rid of JPP, get rid of Jenkins, get rid of fucking Vernon, get rid of Beckham, get rid of all of them.
Apple.
Got him.
Yep.
Got it.
Then we have nobody on this roster. Let more holes.
Dude, you rebuild the roster. Sometimes it's addition by subtraction. The personalities are cancer. There's something wrong.
Oh, also, I don't know if you guys heard this rumor, but an NFC personnel specialist says they're fairly convinced that Cleveland is going to.
Cleveland.
Yeah,
we heard about it.
Which would be that I think that would be
phenomenal,
absolutely amazing and textbook Cleveland.
Do you think it's a smokescreen, though?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't believe anything I hear right now.
Oh, I don't believe it, but if they did it, it would be fucking hilarious.
It would be it would be perfect for us, but then it would be perfect for us if they're under the impression that, well, I guess it's perfect either way, because somebody is going to once you're on the clock and Rosen is available. Or, now in the NFL, if Allen is the guy, they can come to terms with Allen before the draft, and come draft night, the Giants could be on the clock, as not the first pick, but if we know where Allen's going, who knows how long you have while teams know that Rosen's the next guy on the board, and what offers come pouring in at that point.
I can imagine
for that pick.
If we could get someone who I don't know who's picking third, but if they're enthusiastic about Rosen, I would be completely fine with.
I got news for you. I don't think it's going to be the team just at 3. I think you're going to have teams throughout that first 20 picks that there's going to be teams there that are going to be salivating over Rosen and Darnold. And they're going to want one of them, and they're going to want one of them bad. And you're going to have teams throwing themselves all over to get a chance to get one of those guys. And I don't think it stops at 3, 4, 5. I think you're going to see teams at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 trying to get up there. No matter – the quarterback position is so important. It's so important nowadays. It is the end all. If you have if you have one of those guys, one of those quarterbacks, one of those next level guys, you can mask so many different things on your roster, so many deficiencies, because your quarterback can make up for it because of the way the game is played today. So teams are going to be, and they're willing to give you whatever you want for that pick, especially if they know there's other teams bidding for it.
I am 100% aware. I'm just saying that I personally think that if I'm going under the assumption that Gettleman will want a new QB, I don't know. But if he does, then you could literally trade down to 4th or even 5th and still get yourself a really decent QB prospect. You could, if you know someone wants, if first will go Allen, then let's assume it's Rosen. You could get Darnold at 3, or you could get Mayfield at 4.
See, I think that if you're taking a quarterback, if you're taking a quarterback, you don't mess around.
Yeah.
Like you're in position.
Take one of the
You're in position right now where no one can take the quarterback that you want from you if they're taking Allen. The way I look at it is if you trade back now you're rolling the dice, because the odds of trading back and then trading back up are going to be are pretty much non-existent. So once you trade back, now you're at the mercy of all 31 other teams in the league of can someone else trade up in front of you and steal you and completely fuck you on the draft? Like, if you're taking I don't care which prospect they like, Jackson, Mayfield, Rosen, Darnold, Allen, anyone. If one of those 5 guys is their guy, you can't mess around. Take him at 2. We can hate the pick, who it is, and argue about it. But if they're convinced on a quarterback, you don't trade the pick. You take that quarterback at 2. You don't fuck around.
I'm saying you could pull a San Francisco in this sort of situation where if you've got,
trade back and pick, you still get the guy.
Yeah, and you could.
Yeah, but that's risky.
Yeah, but I mean, if you know that the person you're trading with wants one specific guy and that's not your guy, and they're willing to offer you anything additionally,
then why would they make the trade? Teams aren't going to disclose that information. They're not going to disclose that info because then it's like, well, then just trade with the team behind me for that guy, and you can give up less. So I don't know.
The exact same thing when Chicago did it. And so
right now, hold on.
And here's the other thing. You got to imagine that San Francisco probably said, we don't give a fuck who you're taking. Give us picks.
Wait. Oh, there goes the clean show.
They might have not liked Trubisky at all and said, you know what, I don't care where you're taking them. But if you're in love with one of those guys, the Niners, it was Shanahan. Maybe he's looking at Trubisky and going, I can't run my offense with this guy. This guy can't run my offense. So what do I care if they're going to trade up for him? I hope they do. Now I get more picks and I still get the guy that I wanted at 2. Right? So if you're the Giants, if you love that guy, if you love Rosen, if you love Darnold, if you love Jackson, if you love Mayfield, if you love Allen, you cannot mess around and trade back, because you trade back to even 3, and then all of a sudden the team's on the clock, right? And they say, okay, well, now the team, well, who knows, somebody else. What if you go to 4? Can a team trade up to 3? You go to 5. Can a team trade up to 4?
Wait, as it is right
take
now,
the guy that you want.
If you're in love with one specific quarterback, obviously you take it. But if you see 2 very viable options and you think you can run good offense with either one, and you're okay with losing one, go ahead.
Then I agree with you.
Go ahead and trade back one,
but then you can only drop back. But then you can only drop back at the most 2 spots, right? Because you can't put yourself in a position where you may not come away with one of those 2 guys. So you
could probably safely go to 5, because the Browns have 1 and 4 as it is right now. We have the second. It's the Colts and the Browns. Tampa Bay could pull a wild card with Jameis. So I think you could safely go to 5.
No.
The problem is, guys.
Going to pull a wild card. My money's on
unless
the
Browns.
Because Big
Ben,
I
got news for you. All bets are off, because very rarely do you see 5 prospects like this coming out in the same draft. So all bets are off. You are going to see teams in the middle of the pack going all out to trade up and grab one of these kids. So I don't think it's going to matter who's picking where. I think when it comes down to it and the bullets are flying, the best package is going to get you the pick. So whoever wants the pick, if you want it that bad, and teams are going to want these kids that bad, they're going to make a move for them.
All I know is my prediction personally is Gettleman's going to play hardball with a couple of our players, probably including JPP, and potentially trade off their contracts or just completely drop them. He's going to draft a new QB, probably going to drop the second I won't say drop, but take a lower second-round pick to accumulate a couple more picks for the future, probably be there 2 years and then leave, and then Mara will actually have to find someone outside of the organization to replace Gettleman.
Not true. Abrams already there.
Oh, Christ, this Abrams guy. Jesus
if they were that confident in Abrams, they would have let him take
given him the job already.
The job now. All right. We got 22 minutes left.
And the simple thing, guys, you also got to realize, if we drop back, all these teams that might not need quarterbacks have no problem trading. Cleveland has no problem trading.
Yeah.
And Bills have a couple first-round picks. And, obviously the Jets are going to try to trade up to get a quarterback, and they're at like 10. There's going to be moves.
There's going to be movement all over. There's going to be movement all over. And
the Jets are at 7. The Broncos are at 6.
Yep.
It's
all needing QBs.
Yeah.
Half the fucking league needs QBs.
Exactly. So that's why if you're sitting at 2 and you like one of those guys, you take them.
Yep.
Why do I think Cleveland's honestly going to go quarterback with the 1 and 4?
Because it's Cleveland, and that's a Cleveland thing to do.
Ned, you know that I love you, Ned. I gave you your nickname. That's not happening.
There's no way that's happening.
If that happens,
I live in Ohio.
I will sell
there
my
are
home and
legitimate
Cleveland.
talks of that happening. Cleveland is a factory of sadness and draft bust. You do not understand.
I got news for you. You know what? You know what would be crazy? And my thought is this. I think this kid is an all-around weapon, right? If I'm them, if I plan on using this kid in a bunch of different ways, and I think he's supremely talented, and there's a ton of ways to use him. You know exactly where I'm going, right? You take Allen, and then you take Jackson at 5.
Yeah, do you think
you
he'll
just
last,
use Jackson like you use Jackson like Cordell Stewart, and you just have another weapon to put with Gordon and Duke Johnson, and they have some weapons on Crowell, Coleman. They have some weapons. Njoku, if you put that kid and what he can give you offensively with a guy like Allen and let them grow. That kid could be like a Cordell Stewart type player. You can give him a couple of series, a wildcat here, or put him in the slot. You could do a ton with him.
We had a call last night, Tim, right? He was like, the Giants would trade down and grab him. He's going to be a player. He'll put on weight. He'll pan out.
Well, I've heard amazing. See, like I said, man, the talent is amazing. But the thing about him is, and that's why I think that it would be brilliant for Cleveland to do that at 5. Exactly. He's 200 pounds. So to have him in the pocket and to think that he's going to last for 10 years taking a beating the way he plays, and I have nothing against the way he plays. The guy is electric. But can he make it through a 16-game season consistently playing like that? I don't know. And is he good enough to play from the pocket like an NFL quarterback needs to? I don't know. That's why I think that if you had a quarterback established and then you added that kid as a weapon, like, again, teams used to use, like the Steelers used to use Cordell Stewart, where you can give him a series here, use him in the backfield, gadget play, use him as a wide receiver, use him as a running back, where you can make him a weapon in all facets of your offense. Now you have a dangerous weapon, and you're limiting the times that he's getting walloped. He doesn't have the ball in his hands on every play of the game. I think that could work. But that's still ballsy to take 2 quarterbacks there.
Can we talk about 3 things? A defense, wide receivers, and a quarterback. And they could be a legitimate contender. Knowing all that, honestly, I could see what you're saying happen if they think Jackson could also function as a wide receiver.
Yeah, if he's willing to be used in that type of way, then the kid has tremendous value because he's a playmaker with the ball in his hands. But is he willing to do that is one, or is he of the mindset that I'm a quarterback and I want to play quarterback in the NFL? If you sit down with him at the combine and you get the impression that this kid just wants to win and he's willing to do anything to win and he's willing to use him how we want to use him, then, yeah, I think he's a top 5 talent. I think he's more of a top 5 talent if I'm going to use him like that than if I'm just going to use him as a quarterback, honestly, in my humble opinion.
In May 2014,
the way the Cleveland's looking right now, it's going to be quarterback, then it's going to be probably Saquon Barkley.
All right, let's get off of Cleveland. I'm done with them. In May 2014, Dave Gettleman said Odell Beckham Jr. was the only legitimate run-the-entire route tree wide receiver in the draft.
Yes, sir.
He also, in 3 months later on in 2014 that year, there's a quote where he said he also foresaw that Odell Beckham Jr. would propose to a kicking net at some point over the course of the first 4 to 5 years of his career as well. So Gettleman is a fucking soothsayer.
And I just want to put out there that Dave Gettleman was also the person that saw that Antonio Pierce could play inside linebacker for us.
Yeah, we all saw the reports.
I just want, let's give Gettleman his due. He was part of our last 3 Super Bowl teams.
It's not, you guys, this isn't about Gettleman like it wasn't about Eli. It's about a difference of looking at where the franchise is. And the frustrating thing about me is not Gettleman and it's not Eli. It's the fact that there's a complete different view of where the franchise is. There's one mindset of this team is close enough to win right now And where I'm sitting on the other side of the fence with the other side of the fan base that you guys say aren't Giant fans is this team isn't close enough to win right now, and we're in position to do something about it for the next decade without worrying about the last one. And it's just two different mindsets. I don't think one is right. We're going to find out over the course of the next couple of years which one was right and which one was wrong. But,
yeah.
I mean, the argument, I could see the argument for both sides, and it's a passionate fan base. But, I mean,
James,
I just don't think they're close enough. I think you're going to see a lot of the same type of sloppy football.
I mean, does it really hurt that Giants could have brought in two Patriots? Could have brought in
Castro. It has nothing to do with Patriots. It has to do with who's the – dude, no, I don't care what franchise they came from. If they're continuously drafting good players, if they're continuously producing in a system that is producing good players, and when you look at the Patriots, whether you like them or hate them, if you look at them just from a football perspective and you see how they get rid of this big name, this big name, this big name, this big name, and every year they win 14 games. Well, Tom Brady is good, but Tom Brady doesn't play defense. Tom Brady doesn't play on the offense. Tom Brady doesn't play on the offensive line. So, yeah, and I agree with you. It is coaching, but you do need that. You do need the piece of clay to mold, right? So guys can draft Eli Apple, or you can draft a guy that you can mold into a player. And it's Cassiero's job to continuously put players in front of Belichick that he can mold into these players where on any given snap or any given decision he can plug them in and they're producing. That is what it takes in the NFL to win consistently because of how it's a war of attrition. You need depth and guys that you can plug in on any given day that can produce at an NFL level. You need guys that can draft that way.
But I agree with you. But
I don't care what franchise they come from. Get me the fucking guy.
Belichick has final decision on all player movement. So Cassio can probably bring him all these moves, and Belichick can be like, yes, no, all that.
But he's working with Bill Belichick. He comes from Bill Belichick. He's working under the mindset of Bill Belichick. I'm sure in some of those decisions and in some of those conversations, maybe some of the things he says, he's learned from Bill Belichick, you would hope. So maybe when he's given an opportunity to do it by himself, he's learned from some of those conversations that he had with Belichick, some that I'm sure go in his favor, and some don't go in his favor. But the guy's coming from a great tree where they just spit out good football players from every round of the draft, where they have guys contributing all over their rosters on offense, defense, and Dino high on special teams. Go look at the Patriots on special teams. Those are draft picks. I mean, I don't care. I don't care what. If you moved Cassiero to Cleveland and he went on a 6-year run and then became available and he was successful there, I would want him from Cleveland. Like, get me the guy that's hot, that's doing it consistently and winning football games.
I agree.
I'll take my shot on that guy.
Hold on, we got 11
especially
minutes
if he's
left.
41.
Well, the one thing is, Gettleman was winning football games.
Hold on, 11 minutes with another caller.
You got to remember, Tim, is I'm under the mindset of that where I think this roster needs a long-term overhaul. So the 41-year-old guy, to me, makes sense for where we are now. Mara obviously has a difference of opinion. He thinks the team is closer to a championship, and they're going to go for it with Gettleman, who is maybe a smaller window. It's again two different sides of the coin.
Yeah, but either way, if Gettleman is the short-term answer, which obviously he's not the long-term answer, as long as he drafts well, it all works out. As long as he brings in the right people,
you can only
it all
hope.
Works out. Yeah.
You can only hope.
Yep.
Can we talk about my favorite Giant and my favorite player?
Eli Apple?
No. Is Brandon? Are we gonna do with Brandon Marshall one more year? He wants to take a pay cut, supposedly.
If he takes a pay cut,
all in on Brandon Marshall, 100%.
Wait, is
I'll
that
take a pay cut, Brandon?
I'm out.
He already said it. He's already said it.
If he takes a pay cut,
yeah,
I'm
he's
out.
already said it today.
If he's gonna take a pay cut, yeah, sure, go on, be on the roster.
I'm out on Brandon Marshall. I'm out.
You're out, huh?
I'm out.
No second chance.
I don't know if he's trying to get his full contract, but if he's going to take a pay cut, sure. You want to try to make the roster? Good, cool.
I'm out.
Victor Cruz also tried to make Chicago Bears roster.
I'm out. No thanks. Take your mouth and be gone.
All right.
He wants to be a Hall of Famer.
I'm done.
Hold on. I think this is Dean again. Hold on. Dean, do I have your number memorized? I do.
My phone died. My bad. What's going on?
Nothing. We got
I got you guys locked in on the speed dial, so.
There we go. We got 9 minutes to go.
I was just listening. Dude, Brandon Marshall, all I got to say, he's washed up. The guy has run his course as a football player. Go back in the booth, start talking analytics and promoting, whatever you're going to promote. He doesn't have the physical attributes. The physical attributes are there. He just does not have the skills needed to be an outside receiver in this league. He's lost a step. He can't beat off the bump. I'm out on Brandon, just like you said. But Shepard and Ingram trade Odell. To be honest with you, if we could say he wants $20 million a year, he could take a walk. I think with Shepard and Ingram and another vital piece in that offense, with a good running back, this offense could be just as explosive, evening out the catches, the receptions, instead of him wanting the ball.
If one person says to me, trade Odell Beckham, I'm gonna leave the show.
Dude, we'll get another first rounder. We'll take a quarterback and a running back. We're good.
There's no
How many elite wide receivers in the league win anything?
I'm with you, Justin. I'm with you.
How many elite wide receivers in the league win anything?
Calvin Johnson never won a ring. Julio Jones didn't do it. Randy Moss couldn't do it, even when he played against us.
Well, I guess Antonio Brown was going to be the MVP candidate this year, right?
Let me tell you something. You got a better chance of winning. Okay, you got a better chance of winning if you have a solid offensive